Hello loves, happy Sunday inspiration. I wanted to just jump in real quick before I get started and talk about a couple things. So many of you have said that you really enjoy me sharing and talking more throughout the video, so I'm trying to do that. But I do want to say that for Sunday inspiration especially, because it usually always has so much meaning behind it, I usually try to not talk as much and just let you absorb the art and hear the story at the end and that kind of thing. So Sunday inspiration is just a real reflective time for me and for you, hopefully. But I will add a few tidbits here and there. I will probably be sharing more on Crash the Stash than Sunday inspiration. But for today, I did want to share that this piece, I'm using bits and pieces of scraps that I have. And I usually will do that. I'll use bits and pieces. I don't plan too much of what I'm putting in the background unless I want something specific to stand out. But I will say this, the reason that I do paper in the background generally is because, one, I like the texture. And I put everything down with matte medium instead of matte gel so that I get more texture. Matte medium is more fluid, so it kind of crinkles the papers a little bit more. So I want that texture, that element of roughness in what I do most of the time. And if I want something really smooth, then I'll use gel medium. The other thing that I think about when I'm putting my papers down is that I really try not to pay attention to specific things and where they are, because the best thing about doing mixed media and having those papers in the background and then creating on top of them is that wonderful unexpected piece of paper peeking through, or a word peeking through, or numbers, or just at the right place. So I try not to plan this out. The only thing that I do plan is that most of the time around the edges, I try to leave a little bit of space and then plan to have my words start showing up, because I usually am shading around the edges. It's usually dark around the edges, so nothing's going to be seen there anyway. That's the only thing I really try to plan. So like this piece here with the stamp, I'll end up turning it over or something like that so that there's the blank space there and the meat of the paper is in the middle, something like that. But other than that, I don't try to plan it. I just try to get the texture and let the art happen and let the wonderful, unexpected things happen through my art. So today is all about rest. So let's start creating. I'm going to be using a lot of stencils, and I have an idea. I want to create this place of restful peacefulness for you, for me. I want to dive into that and rest. And so let's really focus on the rest and enjoy the process. Hello lovies, happy Sunday to you. There she is. I always kind of go to this style. I've got a couple that are along this same style that really just when I'm needing a quiet space and rest and I'm thinking in that place, I kind of always go to this. And so it came out fairly close to what I was thinking. I was hoping that I could get this wall more, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I needed to use plaster or something. I don't know. But I sanded it down and was able to peel some of the papers off because that's what I wanted, the paint peeling kind of look. I used the Old World minis. I wanted this bit of pattern in the back so that it looks like that there was wallpaper or maybe tile or something old and grungy. I wanted it to look like lots and lots of layers. And then I used, when I really want controlled drips and I really want to be able to place them exactly where I want them, I always go to my background stencils that has the drips. And then I can kind of wipe them to give them more of a grungy, uniform kind of look. And it always works really well. I put the gesso in the background again to kind of resemble that peeling plaster look, and then continue to wipe. And I use alcohol. I kind of let it dry and then use alcohol to wipe it back because it gives it that really kind of worn look. And in the photos you'll be able, I don't know if you can see it on camera, in the photos you can really tell that kind of worn look, and that's what I was going for. I used this just is the cutest thing ever. This is the Vases stencil, the teapot. Love it. And then I used the eucalyptus branches and the garden stencil just for some light greenery. And the nice thing is I was planning on putting a few more flowers in there, but this is one of my favorites. This is actually one of the first stencils I designed way back when, and it's always still my favorite because it's simple and kind of natural, and I love that. And once I got those in there, I was like, nope, I don't need anything more. And then I got my window up here, and a lot of times I often think of not using this one because it kind of looks like a church window, but it also looks like you would see in an old Victorian house or something like that, an old house. And who knows, it could be an old church where you find rest or whatever. But I always kind of go to this place where kind of old and worn and quiet, and in my mind it's out either in the country or by the beach or something like that. I did a lot of wash. I didn't use any glazing medium. I just did a lot of washes to just really kind of get that rough and kind of chalky, grungy feel. I did bring out the oil pastels. There's nothing, it's hard to explain the difference between oil pastels and anything else. It just is this creamy, and these are Senlier, which are probably the best. They're not the cheapest, but they're the best, and they're just super creamy. And it gave me the ability to get the highlights and the lowlights that I wanted to kind of create drama in the piece and kind of highlight some of the light coming through the window and the light on the teapot, that kind of thing. And it's opaque, so it really makes a statement when you're using your oil pastels. And that's pretty much it. And then I stamped in rest down here because that's where I'm at with this right now. And so I have two quotes that I found this week that, again, I always say when you're going through your magazines or whatever and you find things that stir your soul, hang on to them. Well, I had a couple of quotes this week, and as soon as I read them, I was like, oh, I need that. I need to hear this over and over again. So the first one is by Banksy. He's an artist, and it says, if you get tired, which we all get tired, we're so busy. If you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. So learn to rest, not to quit. And I think so often on our journey to our dreams, or whatever it is that we're doing in our jobs, in our relationships, in our every day, sometimes we just get tired. It's just, sometimes it's too much. Life is just too much. And we end up quitting. We quit our dreams, we quit our relationships, we quit our whatever, because we're just tired. And we haven't learned to rest and to do the work, to heal, to mend, to just be still. I mean, seriously, in today's day and age, being still, getting away and doing nothing, disconnecting from our social media and phones and computers and all that stuff. So that quote meant a ton to me, because so often, especially as an entrepreneur, it is sometimes totally overwhelming, and I think, am I doing the right, should I keep going? And the key is to kind of retreat and rest and restore, and then I'm good. Then I'm good. And the other quote was, rest is not idleness. And to lie sometimes on the grass. This just makes me go, oh yes, please take me there. To lie sometimes on the grass, under trees on a summer day, listening to the murmur of the water, or watching the clouds float across the sky, or the ocean tide roll in, is by no means a waste of time. And that was by John Lubbock. And I thought, oh yeah, to just have that moment where you have absolutely no agenda, to sit by the ocean is always that place that I am restored at. I don't know what it is about it, but it really sparks the creativity for me. So loves, in our hustle and our bustle and our kids are getting out for summer and all of the different things that we have going on in our lives, please learn to rest. It's so important for every single aspect of our lives, for our creativity, for our businesses, for our relationships, for our children. When we can learn to rest and recharge and take care of ourselves and our souls, we have so much more to give. And too often, and I am way guilty of this, is that I feel guilty when I take the time to rest. We have to practice. I have to practice to not feel guilty and just take the time that I need. This is my life. And I don't have to account to anybody except me and my Creator. And this is what I need, you need, whatever time it takes, you need to learn how to do it. I need to learn. I'm preaching to the choir right now. I'm preaching to myself. All right, lovies, I am so glad that you joined me today, and I hope that you find the rest that you need and the recharge and the restore for your soul. Have a wonderful Sunday. Have a wonderful Memorial weekend. Be safe, and always know that you are loved.